By Patrick Eads and the staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. GG Carr and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyokin in the Yamanas. Streets Maintenance and Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
That's right. You got the lineup right.
I got it all. Yeah. Isn't that a great video?
Yes,
Showed
it was.
this video of this dog, and the woman's showing the dog the vet bill, and the dog's just sitting there. And then she said, maybe you're going to have to get a job. And the dog gurs at her. Shows her the dog.
Said you're living here rent-free.
Yeah.
I pay all your bills. Maybe it's time you get a job.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm on Instagram is to watch pet videos. And some of them are really damn good. But that was my favorite last night.
Yeah, some of them are good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodo on X has some good stuff, too.
I watched that, too.
I saw this report by the Storty News. Caitlin Clark drove in such high ratings that Fox executives considered reaching out to other networks to come up with an ideal to get her to stay at Iowa. I get that, but she's not leaving for money. She doesn't want to be 23 years old playing against 18 and 19-year-olds next year, no matter how much money it's going to pay her. That seems to be the part of this that gets lost.
I mean, if they had said, we got $5 million for you, you don't think it would have mattered?
I don't know. I just think she's right.
I think you're right.
She'll be 23 next year.
Robin Roberts from Good Morning America is in town, and we thought
it was all over Twitter.
They were going to interview her today, but this is how big ABC did this whole thing on. She's coming up tomorrow. They're like, doing 24 hours in advance. They're promoting an interview with her.
And she's going to make tons of money. I mean, you saw she just signed with Bainbridge.
Yes.
She's going to make tons of money regardless of where she goes, but just this narrative to keep her in college so we can all feed off of her and we can all benefit from her. I mean, you got to think of her.
Yeah.
And that's when I read that.
She made the right decision.
And it's the story said talks barely even. It was very premature because she announced, and I'm guessing she heard rumblings of that stuff and what have you, but I mean, she's doing what she thinks is best for her. And, I imagine a 23-year-old Caitlin Clark playing against 18 and 19-year-old.
Sure can.
I mean, it's fun for you, but, I mean, it's just, I get why she's
but
moving.
I mean, she would be discredited.
And bored.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Adam.
Well, quite a week for Hawkeye sports.
What do you think of that report by the Sporting News trying to get Caitlin to play for a fifth year, if not throw a bunch of money at her with I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but don't you see the other side too? That she's 22.
Yeah. So my opinion really changed probably the last month or two of the season. Selfishly, I want her to stay, right? But
we all do.
She's broke all the records. She's done pretty much everything you can do, and aside from like Jason Williams and guys kind of commenting, well, you're not the GOAT unless you win a national title. Well, I disagree with that.
I don't agree either.
Nonsense.
A lot of these programs, and you're talking about some of the greatest of all time, right, for women's basketball, they've been on super teams. And, the UConn teams of, the 90s, early 2000s, I mean, some of those were just powerhouses. Well, she took pretty much a team of ladies, and they weren't five-star recruits. They were just hard-nosed players that all stayed together, didn't have a bunch of transfers, and they took down pretty much Goliath last year.
Yeah.
And really, that was kind of in my opinion, I thought that was the national title game. But, we end up getting in foul trouble and not winning the LSU game. And, but I feel like with all these special records that have fallen, she's done it in 4 years. She's done everything the right way. It's kind of a perfect ending for her.
Yep.
Now, if she comes back again, everybody's going to have a star or an asterisk or a comment. I think it's okay to move on. I mean, she's still going to stay connected to this state. People are going to support her no matter what. So, yeah, really, I think my opinion changed as all these records tumbled, and she's just, like you said, she's maturing, and her game's matured, and it looks like it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think she's just ready for a new challenge, a new stage. The best want to play against the best, and again, she will be 23 next basketball season. There's a big difference between being 23 and 18 and 19.
So she'll be back to being the youngster.
Yeah.
And I remember I redshirted the 1 year, and granted, a lot of my buddies had graduated. Bruner, Horner, that crew. Mike Henderson was with me, but some of these guys, I had been there. I went to Iowa State my first year, had to sit out. So basically had 4 years at Iowa, but then the year at Iowa State, I could tell around campus, I'm older, right? I mean, you got there's 18, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and, you're on that back half of your college career, and you're now looking at, all right, what's next? What do I got to do to, kind of, whether it's going after a career or for her playing professional ball. I think she's probably at that time mentally where she's like, all right, I've done it all here. I'm ready for the next chapter.
Yep. And the money's going to come wherever she goes. It's going to come because of who she is, not because of what she's doing. I mean, who she is going to take priority over everything. She's going to make money in the WNBA, but she's going to continue. It's going to be fascinating, Adam, to watch what she does off the court. She's a business marketing major, and I think she's going to take full advantage of that. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what she does.
Well, and I think this was a calculated decision. I don't think this was one that was just made, on a just evening sitting at a dinner table. I'm sure, they're pretty calculated on things, and I imagine she's getting a lot of pressure from the top, like WNBA, and it's a league that's not really a moneymaker, and I'm sure they're looking at this as, hey, we have an opportunity not only to really brand this league, possibly around you and some other really good players, but while the momentum's here, and it's going to be a perfect location, Midwest, it may be the right fit at the right time for her to try to really make an impact on that league and just bring more awareness to it and try to get more attention to the WNBA.
Adam, you're not old enough to remember this. I don't believe you are, but when Magic and Larry Bird went to the NBA playoff games were on tape delay at 10:30 at night. The league, the 70s, the league just was not gaining notoriety at all. It was just kind of spinning its wheels. Those two came, and wow, everything changed up. Now, granted, they had each other to feed off of. Caitlin doesn't necessarily have that, but she might be able to develop those. But I think the WNBA is hoping Caitlin can have some type of impact like that, the way Magic and Larry changed the fortune for the NBA. I'm not saying it's going to lead to that kind of but on a much lesser scale. Could you see that, Adam?
Yeah, no, I definitely can, and I think that's what they're anticipating. The one thing I would say just personally about the WNBA, it's not that I'm not interested in it. It's in the summer.
Yes.
It's kind of an off season,
and
I'll be honest, I just don't watch hardly any TV. Besides like some Cubs baseball games in the evening or something.
Yeah.
I'm not tuning in a lot of times in the summer because we're outside or we're at ball games or it's just an awkward time where you're not thinking of basketball. And I think that's why, like in college, the women's game, like people have said, I've had clients in my office and they're like, there's so much good stuff to look forward to. The men play on this night, the women are on this night at this time, and there's not a lot of other things to do when it's kind of crummy outside, and it's basketball season. So, she's been in a perfect spot to be on Fox, ESPN, Big Ten, Peacock. I mean, she's primetime television. And, again, that's my only knock on the WNBA is just I'd love to watch more, and I will, but just kind of some of those times and happening during the summer, it's a little different. But, again, I think they're hoping she can be a game changer.
Well, the CW Network signed a deal with WNBA and have been airing their games, and CW is like a just herding network, basically. They just almost doubled their rates to advertise next season.
Well, I mean,
WNBA.
They doubled their ticket prices.
The Fever doubled their season ticket prices.
And did I see that one of Indiana's road games, the average ticket was going for $350 a piece, and all the others were going for $25 for that whole
yes,
game. So, yeah, I mean, they're all going to feed off her.
The Chicago Sky, got a call the other day that they had sold out the Indiana Fever game. It's happening already all over.
You know what's incredible about Caitlin? She could probably decide today that she doesn't want to play basketball anymore, and would still be a wanted commodity as a sport. Don't you think? I mean, she's popular now.
I don't know. I mean, she's got an opportunity to make big money overseas, right? Somebody will pay her
if she wants to,
if she wants to.
But will she need to, though, Adam? Do you think she'll need to? I think she'll make enough over here to not have to.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think, too, I would love to hear, like, what makes her special, in my opinion, is when she comes in and, gets interviewed right after a game or maybe at halftime or whatever, her detail of she can go back and replay what was happening, 5 minutes before. I'm telling you guys, that's a hard thing to do when you're playing and things are moving 1,000 miles an hour and you're thinking. That's what makes her special, and it's kind of like one of those when you watch football and you're like, hey, I'd like to hear Tom Brady or some of those guys what their analysis is from a former player and how they break stuff down. I would love to hear her doing some of these games in the Big Ten, or especially with the Big Ten kind of going to get some of the West Coast flavor now. I think she'd be great behind a microphone.
Oh, I do too. I think she'd be a great sideline reporter. That's what I meant by saying yes. She's going to play basketball for many years, but she's so talented. She could do other things. I mean, if she decided she didn't want to, networks would hire her up in a heartbeat because she is Caitlin Clark, whether she's playing in the future. But you are right. And like I said, I've said this before, and I know a little bit because I'm fortunate enough to know a side of her family. She's very similar in the way she does things to her aunts that I went to high school with, especially like her Aunt Kathy, who I graduated with. What I remember about her, always prepared, one of the best students. Nobody outworked her in anything. I mean, she just was just always rock solid with everything she did. And I know she's been very successful in business. They live in Omaha. But Caitlin had all those types of people surrounding her growing up, and that's why she makes it a point always to mention her family, because she was, when it comes to having a family, she was very, very fortunate. I don't know anything about the Clark side, but I'm sure they're fine, solid people too. But the Nizzy side, they're rock solid. And she always makes a point of saying that. And she's so intelligent, and she reminds me so much of her aunts that I grew up with and graduated from high school with. I mean, they're just rock solid people.
Yeah, no, I think she would, and you can tell just by games and the people that are there that are supporting her. I mean, that's really shaped and molded her. And again, that's why you want to play local and stay in this city.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, she's just all around special. I mean, she's a rock star and has done everything the right way. And again, kind of leading back to what we started off with, I think the timing is it's really good. And I'm excited to see what we do to kind of finish off into the season here with the Big Ten and then get into the NCAA tournament. We get 2 more games we're going to host. So, I mean, some really good things around the corner. And she can certainly, she's got enough magic in her. I don't know what can happen. I mean, I wasn't ready for last year. I knew we had a chance. But I think anything's possible with Caitlin Clark and having a ball in her hand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they're hot, do I think if I had to bet on them going to the Final Four again this year, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably bet not make it just because it's always easier to bet against the field. But with her, you don't rule out anything. And one thing I will say about her Aunt Kathy, I was old enough, we played 6-on-6. The girls played 6-on-6. Didn't it switch over in like the mid-'80s?
Yeah, but some of it was happening, I think, early 90s, and I think 94 was
Think about that.
That's
not that long ago. Adam,
I remember watching it.
You do remember. You're old enough to remember 6-on-6.
Yep.
Okay, her aunt was a guard.
It was a great game. It was its own. I mean, I actually wish we could. I don't wish we go back to it, but I wish people could see it and appreciate it because it was its own game, and it was high intensity. It was basically 3-on-3 on each side,
and there was always some girl averaging like 70 points a game.
It was.
What'd you get? You got 2 dribbles, right?
2.
You imagine Caitlin playing 3-on-3 basketball? What if she played 3-on-3 but was a guard? She never got the ball. Her aunt was a guard because I remember teasing her sometimes. How can you play basketball and never shoot? Because, I mean, I'll admit, I was probably a better shooter than I was a defender. I think I was a better defender than I was accused. I was always told that I was not a very good defender. But, Adam, I was always marveled at those young girls that they never shot. All they did was guard. Think about that.
Well, I asked my mom that. My mom was a pretty good athlete in high school, and she's just like, hey, that was the role.
Yeah.
You were a defensive stopper, and, it kind of makes your job easier if you're like, hey, I'm just going to be a grinder. I'm going to defend, rebound. That's all I got to do, right? I don't have to put in all that extra time. On the flip side, the other groups over there, they're just worrying about scoring.
Yep.
They don't have to worry about defense or anything else. It's how do I score and create. And there's some all-time greats in this state that
Jan
really
Jensen.
incredible footwork and stuff that they could do with 2 dribbles.
Yeah.
It was really amazing.
And we always, whenever we have Jan on, we always start the interview by asking her how many points she averaged her senior year in high school, because I think, wasn't it 66?
I think it was.
It was crazy.
She's always kind of embarrassed telling her. We just like to hear. Yeah,
but she remembers.
Yeah, well, how do you not? I think it was 66 points per game or something. But yeah, it was a completely different game. I mean, now it seems so long ago. But really, it really wasn't.
But it was really fun to watch.
It was, because you didn't know anything better. But I do remember thinking, man, I wonder how these young girls would play if you just gave them the whole court.
Yeah.
And it was it had to be done.
No, for sure. But it was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
There's a really good podcast out there. I don't have the link. Somebody sent it to me over Christmas break. It was somebody from Iowa. I think she graduated from the University of Iowa, did a podcast on 6-on-6 and kind of the history and the appreciation of, like, the girls' union and how they stuck to stuff, even back in the day, to make sure the girls had sport, but then continued with basketball and, all through, really different periods where sports for women just really weren't prevalent. But then, Iowa was kind of a game changer in that. And then that game evolved, and again, when you look nationwide, you had sellout crowds at the state tournament, and that was unheard of for any, women's sport in the entire country. And really a lot of credit goes to some of those people that stuck with it and said, no, we're going to continue this, and they need this, and keep supporting it. And again, not to change subjects, but the girls athletic union did an incredible job with the state tournament. I mean, they do a good job year in, year out, and it's a special thing. And it's good for these young girls to see that and be a part of it. And, you go up to Minnesota for the Big Ten tournament. I mean, they're selling out the Big Ten tournament for women's basketball. I mean, what's happening is truly remarkable. And, people like Caitlin and all these trendsetters like that they're laying the groundwork. It's really impressive to watch the turnaround.
How's your daughter feeling about the state tournament?
She had a great time.
Did she?
I told her I never made it to state, so I said, hey, just jump on this train and ride it as far as it'll go. And they ended up winning it. And, Solon's got a coach. The coaches were amazing. The girls, it's a special group, and I kind of got to see the back end work that they put in the off season and all the hard work. And, Iowa's going to get a special recruit with Callie Levine. I think she's going to do some really good things. And again, it's just a fun experience to watch them all the way through, start from beginning of the year to winning it at the end. It's really neat. And again, I think the girls union does an amazing job with after and cutting down nets and all the different stuff and the pictures, and they just make it feel special.
So what grade's your daughter?
She's a freshman.
Just a freshman. Wow. So she's got so are you expecting 4 out of 4 state titles before this thing's over?
You better talk to the coaches on that.
Yeah. Well, no, that's great though. I mean, that's great. So did you think this was possible? Everyone wants to win the state title, but did you think this team had a realistic chance with a player like Callie Levine?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not. So this isn't a case of just wildly exceeding expectations.
I think they put it down on their calendar last year. They wanted to win state, and they probably should have. They had a tough semifinal game where Callie got in foul trouble and a couple other girls, and it just came down to one shot to advance, and that was probably the state title game in the semis.
Okay.
And what's cool to see, just like the Iowa women, what do you do in that off season? You should have been there. You thought you had a chance to win it. You could almost taste it. Those girls put in a lot of effort in the off season, to get better. And that was the whole focus all year was, hey, we might slip up a game or two. They got beat by Clear Creek, Mount Vernon, but the whole thing was play your best basketball at the end of the year to win a state title.
Well, I'll give you one. My junior year, we finished runner-up in baseball. I didn't work that hard during the off season going into my senior year. We got beat in the first round of districts with me pitching, and then afterwards, my mom heard me and a couple teammates talking about where the party was going to be that night. Oh my God, she lit into me for not caring. My career was over. I wasn't going to go play college. I decided, I think I had accepted losing better than my mom had wanted me to accept, and I'll never forget that. But that's the opposite side of Adam's story. The other side is if you don't work hard, kids, you're going to lose in the first round of districts to a team you should have beaten. But all right, hey, let's focus on the Iowa men for a little bit because Huge game. I saw Illinois law. What was the final score last night?
I didn't see the final score.
Purdue won.
It was close until about the last. Well, I mean, even the last. The guy. It was a 3-point game, and he ends up burying about a 35-foot shot to put him pretty much up 6 points. So,
Adam, the mental game. Do you think that helps Iowa against Illinois Sunday? From Illinois' mindset, do you think Illinois comes in now? They have no chance to win the title now. Now they're playing for seeding and what have you.
But they're assured of seed number 2 in the Big Ten.
No, I'm talking more about the NCAA.
Okay.
I mean, if they win, I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is going to help Iowa against Illinois?
If I'm Iowa, I think you got to worry about yourself and take whatever it's going to be pretty much senior day, and it's we're playing at home, right? We played them on the road. And I thought we had a chance to really.
That game was close. Yeah.
Really, just a couple minutes on the 4-minute mark or so, we kind of let it slip. So we can play with these guys all day long, and I like what we're showing as far as production from all these other guys. Right? You got Josh Dix coming in, just having some monster games. It's a different team than I think, obviously, than what we were playing at the beginning of the year and the beginning of really Big Ten play. So I feel like we're hot right now. If we can, get Peyton, Josh, Patrick, some of these guys to maybe come up and have a big scoring night shooting from the outside, it's going to give us a real shot at winning this game. And from there, we're right there on the first 4 out. I mean, you win this game, I think it's another quad 1 win against a team like this. I think you're in.
Yeah, I think they're in too.
Get another win or two in the Big Ten tournament. So, I mean, if you're Iowa, you're playing for so much this weekend. I think you let it all go.
You're playing for really more than Illinois is playing for. I mean, they're still playing. But so, okay, let's say Iowa beats Illinois, but then goes and loses its first game of the Big Ten tournament. Does that take them in and then out in your eyes? What do you think?
I think you're still in probably.
Okay.
I mean, and that's me. And you're looking at everything else that's got to play out. We don't know how these conference tournaments are going to look, and if some of the favorites end up not winning, and you get an underdog that comes in and gets the automatic bid. But I gotta think. This is a strong way to finish out the year.
Yeah.
You can get Northwestern and Illinois and pair that with some of the other big wins that we've had. Our strength of schedule, we've seen Purdue twice, you see Illinois twice. Like we've played Iowa State. I mean, there's some games in there we should have won, but there's not a lot of terrible losses in there that if you're playing well at the right
Michigan,
time,
really.
you want to see everybody. Everybody wants to see you at the end of the season to be playing your best ball.
Michigan and getting swept by Maryland, I think, would be the two biggest blemishes on Iowa. But every team has a blemish other than maybe Purdue. But it's going to be interesting. I got to ask you, Adam, do you think there's a chance Iowa State's going to be a 1 seed before this thing's all said and done? They're ranked 6th right now.
And their stock keeps rising. So they're again, we talked about them before. That's just it's a very strong, mature team. They play defense. They can score. I think they're dangerous. I don't know if I'd want to play those guys right now.
No.
And again, I think there is definitely, depending on how all this plays out, they win the Big 12. They're definitely a 1 seed. So,
wow, think about that.
Incredible.
That would be incredible if he could do that. Hey, I wanted to ask you too. You saw that Dartmouth became the first team to unionize. Adam, kind of your thoughts on that. What does this mean for the future? For the people that don't really understand, how do you think this is going to impact it? Because I've had some people say this is the death knell for the NCAA, the first nail in the coffin.
I think so too. I think at some point this may be it's just going to take one, right, to get this started, and from there all these other ones will jump on. I think it's just tough, and I don't know what ends up happening. Do they end up just sliding away from the NCAA, and you got these big conferences that end up governing themselves and doing their own deal?
I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I think that's where it's headed.
Yep.
What do you think as a former player, and what do you like this direction?
No, call me old school, but I would have paid to come here and play, to wear the black and gold. And I know times have changed, and I just feel like we're losing the amateur college. These guys are bouncing around.
Oh, it's gone
all the time, and there's no consequence. And I think part of why you look to go to college and why I did is academically, walking out of here with a degree was a big deal for me, and to be a part of the university and, again, be in these classes and you get one time to go through this. I feel bad for these kids that are jumping around all the time. I mean, how do you really have a footprint of where you're at, and really enjoy college and build lasting relationships that are going to last, for a lifetime? But it seems everything's about money right now, and I just think it's really hard because we've talked about it before. How do you put this cat back in the bag? It's like it's out and it's out of control. I don't know how you rein this in.
I don't think you
without
can.
having a massive reset.
I don't think you can because there's so much money involved. These student athletes have watched coaches and universities just make millions for years, and now they're getting theirs. And whether it's right or wrong, I just think that's where we are.
Well, and here's the NCAA. Their statement is Congress should deal with it.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. Congress doesn't
Well,
have to.
I just have a. I mean, in NCAA, for me, like I have a bad taste in my mouth with them on just how they've handled a lot of different things, right? I mean, some of these programs that that there's been stuff or rumblings or things that happen, it's like a slap on the wrist, but then they'll lay an example on a smaller school, and then you have like this gambling situation going on, and they just waited on that stuff with our baseball guys, and all of a sudden, make a decision when it's so late and it's pretty much over with the wrestling and all the, even Noah Shannon. Like, I don't know how many things come on their plate, but you mean to tell me you can't make a decision within a couple weeks for these students?
No, I fully agree with. It was almost like they ignored it for months while it was going on. We didn't hear anything. I know they can't speak specifically, but it was almost like they just wanted to kind of wash their hands of that stuff. And then meanwhile, these players were being suspended anyway. But it was almost like the NCAA wanted you to think, well, we're not the ones suspended them. Each school's handling it. I don't know. I'm with you though. They pick and choose the battles they want to fight. And it just seems like certain schools, I mean, how often, I'll mention, like Kansas, how long have we read about stuff allegedly going wrong at Kansas? And has anything ever happened to them?
In North Carolina?
Well, yeah, like North Carolina, and maybe I'm wrong on the school, but some of these coaches that were teaching theory and ethics of coaching, and some of these guys graduating in 3 years and then going off and playing pro ball when they played with USA basketball all summer, and it's like, well, I mean, I know what it takes to graduate in 3 or 3.5 years is what I did, and I took summer schools and all that. Like, I just question on, how much was getting done, or, we do things the right way. So Iowa State, I can always say when we were here between compliance and coaches, and it was done the right way, and there was no funny business, but there's been stuff going on for many, many years, and again, it just gets swept under the rug if you're a certain program.
You're right. And I will say, from my experiences, Iowa does do things the right way. I've told you that story about when we let Brad Banks, my family, the tuxedo, let Brad Banks give him a free tuxedo to go to his Heisman stuff, and Iowa found out that he didn't pay for it, and he had to come back and pay us in cash. Because, I think it was Fred Mims that said we can't do that. We were trying to be nice. It was our decision, but Iowa came back and said, no, when he's done and you want to reimburse him, but as long as he's with us, he has to pay for this. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that's pretty cool. That's the way things should be done. And I mentioned Kansas. I know Kansas was under investigation forever, weren't they?
Yes.
Whatever really came of that?
I don't think there's any real punishment. There was no postseason punishment.
So did they prove it?
They came down hard on Cleveland State, I think, is what happened.
But did they not have enough evidence? There was some evidence against Kansas. I remember reading about it.
There was.
I mean, but yeah, you're right though. There's just an inconsistency with how they govern. But I don't know. This is a fun month. It is weird, talking about with the weather. It seems like we're in baseball season with the way the weather's been and what have you. But going up to Minneapolis, I've never covered it up there before. This is going to be fun. A first for me. I mean, what do you think of it up in Minneapolis?
That's a good city. I think some of those you're kind of downtown, like even Indianapolis. I'm a little partial to that because you get the hotels and it's walking distance.
It's convenient, yeah.
Everything's right there. So I think Minneapolis will be kind of similar. And, I mean, those cities I think they're going to roll out the red carpet for it.
Oh, they will.
As luxurious as possible for the fans and have a great experience for the players and everybody involved. So, yeah, I think it's going to be great.
And the weather's going to – have you looked at the weather? What's the weather?
The weather's going to be
like this?
Maybe not quite as warm
but
as
not
this,
threatening of any
but
kind.
No.
See,
it's going to be –
that's so nice, too.
We should be safe. But, yeah, we went up last year, Adam, and downtown Minneapolis is great. There's so many good restaurants.
Oh, there are. Yeah, there are.
And all sorts of Hawkeye fans were around. It was really fun.
Well, I think that's what makes Chicago a little difficult when I remember even when we played, right, the United Center sits out away from everything, and there's nothing really around out there. You kind of got to shuttle or taxi or drive out there, and then if you're staying downtown or staying out west, like it doesn't feel as connected.
No, it doesn't, and there's good and bad. I mean, like we do the Big Ten football media days, they'd always have it. They used to have it at a couple of those hotels right there by the Navy Pier, right by the Chicago River. So there was a lot of places within walking distance, but everything's super expensive too when you're down there. But what we do now, what I'm going to do we always go and get a hotel. I'll travel with a couple other media members. We get our hotels in the suburbs, get them cheaper. Then but it's easy to get from the suburbs of Minneapolis, a lot easier than Chicago.
Sure.
I mean, if you do it in Chicago, you stay out in Oak Brook, and sometimes the traffic to go 10 miles can take forever. You don't really have to deal with that as much in Indy. But, no, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I think the women are going to win it. I think they're either going to win it or I think at the least they get to the championship game. I think at the least. And like I said, I think the men are going to beat Illinois Sunday. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks, and I think they're going to win at least one game in the tournament and make the NCAA tournament for a fifth year in a row.
You're a homer, Pat.
I am a homer right now. But I mean, the Northwest, that was not a real –
and I got to say, Fran gets got to give a lot of credit to the players, but this coaching staff, right, I think you got to give them a ton of credit.
Oh, I do too. One of his best jobs. I don't think we expected
much at all, especially midway through the season, just because they're young and developing and, losing a player like, with Murray, and now all of a sudden we're talking about a chance to play in to get into the tournament. That's huge.
Yeah, no, it is. Like I said, this could be his best coaching
job. And especially when you start off 0-3, you're already out of the race.
They could have unraveled.
That's usually us every year, though.
It seems like it.
But no, I think you could make a strong case for this being his best, especially if they win on Sunday. I mean, Fran's got a lot going on in his life too. I mean, I'm not.
Yep.
I mean, there's just a lot going on, and he has stayed focused and driven. So no, I've been very impressed by what he's done, and like I said, I've just got a good feeling about this team right now. In the Northwestern game, in fairness, they were a depleted shell of itself. I mean, when they lost Nicholson, they had no chance.
And we still only won by 7.
So, yeah, I give credit to Northwestern. That would have been a bad loss if Iowa hadn't. But they did. They won the game. So yeah, I'm feeling really optimistic. I'm trying to think. Have we covered everything? God, we've already had him on for almost a half an hour. Seems like. But when you spend the first 15 minutes talking about the greatness of Caitlin Clark. So, Adam, I think she's going to make more of an impact in the WNBA as a passer than a scorer. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. I mean, I think she can score with anybody and with her range and everything else. But I think it's going to be fun to watch her with her passing ability with some of these. These are some of the best players in the world, and she's going to go out there and I think put on a real show every night. I mean, and I think she's going to enjoy that. Where nothing against our players right now, but I think she can really do some big time things in this WNBA. I mean, she's going to be playing with some post forwards. I mean, people. I mean, she's going to. Again, I think she'll be electric out there.
And Aaliyah Boston's her rim runner, so
and Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell's the one that she's going to. I just see some 20 assist games. It's going to be interesting to see how she's going to have a harder time, I think, making logo threes because she's going to have taller, more athletic defenders who are going to go out of their way to stop her from making logo threes because that's part of her legend. It's going to be interesting because that's where I think, she's going to be facing much better defenders.
She just signed a contract I just got in the last 15 minutes with Panini.
I saw that early this morning.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was. I got an email like at 7:00 this morning from the company saying.
What is Panini?
It's a collector's trading card.
Yeah.
Company and
do you like paninis, the sandwich?
I do.
Yeah, I like paninis. You like paninis, Adam?
I do.
I do. I like a good panini.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to start seeing more and more of that. I mean, it's just she is a business enterprise in herself, and it's going to be fascinating to watch. You got anything else?
No, I'm looking forward to the trip up. We're leaving tomorrow to get up to Minneapolis, and you're coming up Friday?
No, I'm not. Susan is. I'm going to the men.
Oh, you're going to
Susan
the men.
Harmon, she's covering. Susan's going up Friday morning because the game's at 5:30.
Yes.
I think she said she's leaving around 9, checking to the hotel. But, yeah, Susan will be – she was up there last year for us too. So – well, Adam, great stuff as usual. We got anything else? Have we covered everything?
No, we'll talk after a few more games are played, and we look forward to talking.
Yeah, we'll do this if we can do this next week sometime. I'll reach out. You just let me know when we can fit it around your schedule.
Perfect, guys. Hey, safe travels when you guys are heading up to those tournaments, and go Hawkeye.
Hey, Adam, I got one thing I wanted to ask you. Have you followed this Kalen Walker, the 60-meter guy for Iowa right now? He finished second in the Big Ten. Have you noticed?
Yeah, he's a flyer, man. He's fast.
He really is. I want to reach out. I want to do something on him. He's from Eddyville. I know he was from junior college. But, yeah, I watched that 60-meter final. That kid who beat him, too, those guys were flying. So
yeah, and that's the hard thing on the 60 meters. It's really coming down to your start.
Yeah,
there's no margin of error for anything. I mean, you don't have any time to make up a little mistake in the blocks. But yeah, he's special.
Well, you saw the start. Did you see Christian Coleman start in the? He beat Noah Lyles. I think it was some indoor 60. Did you see that one a couple weeks ago? It's one of the quickest starts. You've heard of Christian Coleman, haven't you?
Yes, yep.
He's one of the greatest starters I've ever seen. Lyles couldn't catch up with him. I mean, his start was fascinating, and he won.
Track. Somebody sent me the other day. Did you see the guy from? What was that? What school? It was down.
Oh, the indoor 400.
Broke the
world record,
but the blocks weren't. Hey, it wasn't set up the way it was supposed to be, right? Because of the timing mechanism.
Yes, but he's a sophomore. I can't remember.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it was incredible watching him run.
He didn't look clean kind of the last 150. I mean, he was giving it whatever he had left, and that was kind of funny to listen to the announcers like, oh, that's a great time. It broke the meet record, and then it was the conference, and then, oh, my gosh, it's a world record indoor for a 400.
No, it was incredible. I've told you about this before. I still say the most incredible story in track I've ever heard about is when Houston McTeer set the 100-meter. He ran like a 9-flat as an 18-year-old high school kid with no track shoes, no start. I told you about him, and then you looked him up, right, Adam? You hadn't heard about him. I mean,
I remember.
I mean, Houston McTeer made the cover of Sports Illustrated. Now, he did not reach. He never won a gold medal. There was a lot of stuff that went on in his life, but what he grew up in and how fast he was as a 17, he was running 9-flat as a 17 and 18-year-old kid. I mean, you read about him, didn't you, Adam?
I did, and to think about those guys back in the day when training was so different. I mean, look at the state-of-the-art stuff
you
guys have access to.
He smoked cigarettes. He would put a cigarette out right before going to the lane. According to the story I read, there were times.
Hey, maybe we've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Keith Richards training regime for 100-yard dash sprinters. But yeah, no,
I said when I played overseas the first time, I went on a Big Ten All-Star, and I'll never forget when we played in Italy. At halftime, now granted, it was more of a friendly game. Mm-hmm. It's not in their season, but I mean, you compete. Those guys were over there smoking cigarettes and taking shots at halftime for the other team, and I'm like, our coach is yelling at us. He's like, "We got to get better effort. These guys are over there smoking at halftime
and drinking."
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget that classic photo of Lenny Dawson at the halftime of smoking a cigarette at halftime of a football game. Yeah, that's incredible. Super Bowl, yeah. Times have definitely changed. Well, Adam, great stuff as usual. I'll be in touch. We'll try to do this again next week.
Awesome, guys. Yep, go Hawks. Have a good day.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, bye.
They weren't just smoking, they were drinking. That is hilarious. Times have definitely changed. I rarely even see people smoking cigarettes anymore.
Well, you don't see them.
I mean, when I drive around up to Carver, you'll see some people outside of the VA or whatever, workers, but not many. I mean, 20 years ago, you'd drive out, you'd see 30, 40 people out there smoking.
Listen, 20 years ago, you'd go when UIHC said you can't smoke, in the building anymore. And I had appointments there, and I'd drive up, and there'd just be
there'd be tons,
massive crowds.
They're not anymore.
They're smoking right in front
just
of the
unbelievable
place.
Clouds of smoke.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing that.
No, not anymore.
No, not anymore.
It just reminds me of going into the old field house, and where they had everyone you'd come in the outer doors, and people were in the vestibule smoking, and it was just looked like it was a smog machine.
Yeah,
it was just unbelievable.
It's amazing how times have changed for the better.
Oh, in that respect, sure.
Thank God I've never been a cigarette smoker.
Oh,
I tried it one time. I couldn't even inhale it.
You bitch about the cost of food.
Oh,
cigarettes are just.
Yeah, and right now.
Right, how about this? We were at the casino the other day, and no, I did smoke. I smoked for 15 years. Okay, and I said as soon as it gets to $1 a pack, I am done. Okay, and I certainly was. Okay, but at the casino. $14 for a pack of cigarettes.
That's 20 cigarettes in a pack?
Yes.
It's almost a buck of cigarettes.
$14.
I think it might be Quick Star. I don't know. One of them is like $10.99.
Well, I mean, domestic 12 packs of beer are $18 now. Yeah. Now, I will say right now, Hy-Vee has got this wild sale going on with Coors Light and Miller Lite. You can get a 12-pack for $11.99 until March 19th. That's really cheap.
That's a good deal.
That's almost half price off.
See, you should stock up.
Well, I have. I mean, I went because I usually will buy a 6-pack. 6-packs are $10. Why would you buy a 6-pack at 10 when you can get a 12-pack for 12? I mean, it makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, no, that goes until March 19th. So that's pretty spectacular.
Well, they had Diet Coke, and if you bought 2 Diet Coke,
You get one free?
You get 2 free.
Wow.
Did you stock up?
Huh? Well, yeah. Yeah, but they're
But
all
then
gone
yesterday
now.
there was a study that said if you drink like 1 Diet Pop a year, no matter whatever exercise you can do, it's bad for you. I mean, I don't know. It was you guys had it.
It's like the freaking hot dog. Well,
if you eat one that
hot
takes a
dog
half an hour out of your life, how do they know that?
They don't.
They don't know that.
Remember when eating an egg was, if you ate too many eggs, you're going to just explode and die of a heart attack?
And now they're pushing Oscar Mayer. Oscar Mayer's pushing their freaking plant-based hot dogs.
Nothing plant-based.
We did
Hard pass.
We did an ag day, and they had tofu hot dogs.
Gross.
And
Gross.
it's like feeding a baby strained carrots.
But now eggs aren't considered as bad as now, aren't they? They're not.
Just the cholesterol.
But aren't they not as high as?
I mean, I think that they're good cholesterol, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it doesn't
there
seem like
is.
you hear much about, don't eat eggs anymore. I mean,
Hello.
Tofu is the work of the devil. But
Amen.
you guys are probably old enough to remember when they had smoking lounges down to UI Library.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Up on the 5th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, back in the day, Kenny Stabler, when he played for the Raiders, I can remember a shot of him having 2 double scotches at halftime.
maybe to ease the pain.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time.
I don't know.
The cigarette stuff's one thing, but when you get
When you
'cause
start drinking.
because then that affects your equilibrium, your coordination. I mean, cigarettes don't. I don't think they have that type of impact. But yeah, the drinking takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah,
Next, you're gonna have rubber tubes and
I will
syringes.
say I loved every cigarette I ever had.
You said,
I really did.
"Hey, look, the starting center for the other team's shooting up heroin at halftime." Think it'll ever get like that?
I hope not. But
Yeah, we don't need that.
yeah, I really don't. Hello.
Yeah, that last caller who said that tofu's the work of the devil.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of farmers that would not agree with that because tofu's made of soybean.
Yeah.
And if you cook, the guy doesn't know how to cook with tofu. So there you go.
Well,
Tofu
fair enough.
sucks. Tofu sucks.
I'm with you on that one. Sorry, farmer. I love the
Yeah.
farmers. I eat
The
a lot of.
farmers can
I'll
grow
eat all- I eat
corn, you grow whatever.
eggs,
Yeah.
green beans. I eat all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I ain't eating tofu.
No.
Just like I ain't eating sushi.
It's not my thing, but
I don't eat
I know my daughter Amy likes will order plant-based burgers when we're out sometime.
I don't eat raw fish.
says
I
they're
don't
real
eat
good.
anything
You know
that says
something?
plant or cauliflower in the crust.
They're
I'm
not
out.
any better than other burgers.
What about cauliflower?
they're not
no,
as-
they're worse. They're just
not
better
as-
for
yeah,
you.
They're not that much.
Well,
Not
according
that
to
much.
the stuff you read on the cover, they say they're better for you.
Well, calorie-wise, there might be more.
Yeah, I don't know. I never even looked.
Yeah,
that far.
and they're flavoring them to make them palatable with a bunch of salt and a bunch of.
Yeah.
No. Farmers, sorry, but you voted Republican anyway. So what the hell? Hello.
Hey, I'll give you one better. I had emergency surgery quite a few years ago, and sitting right outside of the door to go into surgery, I was having a cigarette. So
There you
that's
go.
how, I'm in the middle of the hospital having a cigarette before going into surgery.
Think about that.
Yeah.
But next month will be 30 years since I gave it up. So I'm with you,
congratulations.
Suter.
Yeah.
It has been, let's see, for me it's been 35 years.
Wow.
Ah, that's cool. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
So
hey,
if
Mr. Suter, have you ever gone over to Matt's Bar there in Minneapolis?
What's it called?
Matt's Bar. It's the home of the Juicy Lucy.
No, I haven't. Where's
You
it
got to
located?
try it. It's right out by the airport. I think it's on 13.
Yeah, I've never.
but you can find it because it's right next to Lake Nokomis. And if you've never had a Juicy Lucy, that's the one that has the 2 burger patties with the cheese in the center.
Yeah, I've had them, and they're delicious.
Yeah, I'm up here right now. I'm up in Minneapolis delivering. But, yeah, it's when I used to work up here, when I lived up here, that was one of the places I'd always hit. You'd hit that, and my ride home was 30 minutes from the bar. I'd get home and unwrap them, and they'd still be steaming, and you didn't dare take a bite, like a deep bite into them because it's like having hot lava poured across your lips. But they are good.
Yeah, they are good, but you do have to eat them carefully.
Yeah. So I think, you were talking about the panini thing. One more thing, and I'll get off the line here. I know you guys are getting close to a break. The panini, I'd like to see what they're going to do with her for, like, autograph stuff. Because her autograph stuff right now on the market, on the card market, is just incredible. The prices that they're asking for on some of this stuff, like the one card that sold for $75,000.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's Michael Jordan cards from his rookie year that aren't that expensive.
It's just...
You would think he would be top of the line, but the only thing I can compare it to is like rookie Mickey Mantle.
Yeah,
it tells you the kind of impact that woman has had.
It's pretty incredible.
It is. Well, hopefully you guys are right. I'd love to see the Hawks win the tournament this weekend, and the men beat. It'd be a great Sunday for us. The men beating Illinois and the women winning the Big Ten championship. That'd be a pretty nice Sunday.
That'd be incredible, and it might happen.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, anyway, you guys have a great day. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. And as he said, why don't we take a quick break, and we will be right back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's e-keys for cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's e-keys for cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's e-keys for cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. And special ribeye and shrimp nights. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Truck Month at Deary Ford in Iowa City. Bring in your tax refund and save. Buy a new 2022 Ford F-150 with 0% financing and up to $8,000 off. We have over 75 top-quality used vehicles. Trucks starting at $59.90 and cars from $49.90. Payments from $199 a month with 0 down. Truck Month at Deary Ford in Iowa City. Hurry in or shop online at DearyFord.com.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Hawkeye fans, you love watching the black and gold. You know Hawkeye Black and Gold. As a Hawkeye fan, there are no better colors than the Hawkeye Black and Gold. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson. When you're buying, selling, or refinancing your property, consider the green and white team, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement. The team you love, the people you trust.
Car won't steer? Call Premier. Premier Automotive in North Liberty offers full-service mechanical auto repair work in addition to being Eastern Iowa's most trusted name in auto body repair. Use Premier for all your auto repair needs. Brakes, oil changes, air conditioning, diagnostics, transmissions, or preventive maintenance. Whether you hit a deer or your car won't steer, see Premier Automotive in North Liberty.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
84 years of preparation. The wait is over. The Oxyokin's brand new book, Our Recipes, Our Story, is on sale now. 90 pages in full color, 67 recipes, and our unique history for only $24.99. Get yours while they last at the Oxyokin. Available soon by mail order along with our current serving hours at oxyokin.com.
The Oxyokin.
Oxyokin in the heart of Amana.
How would you like to visit exotic destinations like Aruba, Bonaire, Costa Rica, Colombia, the Cayman Islands, and the Panama Canal? How about visiting them in the middle of a nasty Iowa winter when it's beautiful there and miserable here? Sound good? Join KCJJ Radio and Destinations Unlimited for an unforgettable 12-day cruise of the Western Caribbean and the Panama Canal. Warm, exotic, inviting, and beautiful. You'll enjoy fine weather, fabulous food, astounding sights, great entertainment, and the most amazing 12-day cruise you can imagine. For more information on this adventure of a lifetime, call Lori at Destinations Unlimited at 319-393-1359. That's 319-393-1359. Or visit the KCJJ app, 1630kcjj.com, or the KCJJ Facebook page.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Partly cloudy today. We'll get to around 52 for a high this afternoon. The wind out of the east at around 5 to 15 today. Tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a low of 36. Tomorrow, a little sunshine first thing, then cloudy with scattered rain developing, 56 for a high. Then more rain tomorrow night into Friday. We could get a half inch to an inch of rain tomorrow night through Friday. It'll be cooler Friday, too, with a high near 49. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Current temperature 44.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Your previous caller does not speak for all farmers. I won't eat that stuff. Talking about tofu. That's great.
No, I understand how versatile soybeans are.
No, you
I
can
get
do
all
it
that.
in a lot of, but it's one thing to use it in recipes where, but to make something that isn't into it, like a hot dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried those. They were terrible. I mean, it's strained carrots. It's like you eat when you were a baby.
I mean, hot dogs are already kind of iffy enough.
Hot dogs are kind of nasty.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're made.
Love hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't hate them, but I'm not a huge.
No.
I mean, if I'll eat a Chicago dog. You put enough crap on it and bury the substance of the hot dog. I can eat it then. I like Chicago dogs because I'm tasting all the peppers and the tomatoes and the relish and what have you, and the onion, but hot dog by itself. Yeah.
Chili cheese dogs I'll eat.
Yeah, that's another, because you're drowning the hot dog in stuff that tastes good.
And I don't like the big fat hot dogs either. Those are nasty.
Nasty.
Un-American. Commies. You're commies.
Are we woke?
Yeah, no, I'm woke.
You're woke? You're more woke than us?
I'm more woke.
All right. But, yeah, no, I'd much rather have a burger than a hot dog.
You got a thing going with your hair today, like, oh, God, what's his name now? The guy that used to do drugs, but he doesn't do drugs anymore. And he's
Boy, that narrows it down.
Yeah. What is that?
That really narrows
Everybody
it down.
in the 70s?
No, an actor. Well, he's... God dang. He was Iron Man.
It's the headphones. These new headphones, they clash with my hair.
No, it looks...
I'm just glad I still have hair.
It looks
I'm just
good
glad
on
I still have hair that does stuff every once in a while.
It looks good on you.
Well, gee, well, thank you.
You're very attractive.
Now we're into the creepy part of the show. God, Karn, call, please. Back to the Hawks.
The Hawks.
Iowa baseball with a 9-3 win yesterday over
Yep.
St. Thomas. Where is St. Thomas? Does anyone know? Hunter, you know where St. Thomas College is? I wonder if it's Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
I'm going to
guessing
guess
it's a bordering. I'm going to guess
Minnesota.
I'm going to guess Wisconsin. Or maybe
Minnesota.
Oh, you were right.
St. Paul.
St. Paul. Okay, so
Yeah.
I figured it was a bordering state
Yeah.
to make it easier to travel, and that's the kind of game that they have to win. I mean, they're 6-6 right now, and I'm assuming the series down, and they play Jacksonville State. I don't know much about them, but I'm guessing they're probably pretty good.
I'm guessing they're pretty good.
So, I mean, this has been sort of a tough stretch, but, they've still got that whole Big Ten schedule to play.
Yep.
And it's amazing to think that baseball's already played 12 games.
Isn't that something?
Think about that.
And we're very early March.
Yeah, what is today, the 6th or the 7th?
7th, I think.
Today's March
6th, sorry.
Today's March 6th?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that's when I just heard you guys do the update today, I'm like, wow, 12 games already. And basketball's almost over. I mean, and basketball is such a long season.
It is.
I mean, it is a grind. To think that they played that first exhibition game like in early to mid-November. I mean,
wasn't the crossover at Kinnick in October?
That was October 15th, wasn't it?
It was, or I don't know, but
yeah, it was in October.
Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's John Balmer.
Hi, John.
I'm going to rescue you from Captain with him in his personal comments about you. So
okay. All right.
I can't believe you guys don't like hot dogs.
I don't mind them. I just don't. I'm not crazy about
I
them.
eat a couple a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like that. Yeah,
I mean, I'll have one at a ball game.
I can eat one at a ball
maybe.
game. I kind of like have popcorn the way hot dogs kind of like the way I like popcorn. If it's at a game, I'll eat it, but I don't eat popcorn when I'm away from it.
Really?
Yeah, no, not really. No.
Holy cow!
I love popcorn.
I love them both, for God's sake.
Got to have butter and salt on the popcorn.
Yeah, that's the problem. When I eat popcorn,
Absolutely.
I turn it into something really unhealthy.
Well, yeah. Ann loves popcorn, and she'll eat the kind, that doesn't have hardly any salt on
can't
it.
do that.
She just likes the crunch, I think.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no, I like them all, frankly. Yeah, and hot dogs, I love mustard on it, of course. Get a little mustard on it.
No, I do love brats,
well,
Yeah,
brats,
love
yes,
brats.
brats are great.
and I don't like sauerkraut unless it's on a brat.
No, No sauerkraut.
But I love it on a brat, but I couldn't eat like I know my dad used to eat sauerkraut as like a side dish, and I'd give him a hard time. Yeah, I'd give him a hard time, and he'd tell me to go to hell. But he would take a couple spoons out of the sauerkraut, warm it up in a microwave, and that would be a side. And I'd be like, Dad, that's sickening. Why are you doing that?
I don't like sauerkraut.
No.
And
maybe it'll keep you regular or something.
Hunter's with my dad. Hunter took my dad's side. Hunter's telling me to go to hell.
So, John?
Yes.
John, here we go.
John?
What are you going to ask me?
I think we're shifting to Politics Boulevard right now.
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to vote for either one. I'm just going to. I'll be the third presidential election in a row. I didn't vote for the president, either party. So.
You think there's going to be a lot of yous out there?
Oh, I think so. I think there's going to be.
Now, do you think there'll be some that take it further and not only don't vote, but then will cross over and actually vote for a Democrat?
Possibly. Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly. Yeah, I think that's. I still think it's in the mix. There's a lot can happen between now and November.
For sure.
Oh, no, to both of them, to both candidates. Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, either one of them. You know, Trump could have a stroke for that matter.
I think we should just put him in the ring, have a bare knuckle fight, and whoever wins is president.
See, the problem with that though is if Biden has happened to be winning, couldn't you see like Margie Taylor Greene climbing up in the ring and like kicking him when he's start attacking Biden?
Like WWE or something like that.
Yeah, so
pull a chair out from under the ring.
And then isn't the State of the Union tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes. You know, most of the country doesn't want to see either one of them.
No, 70%. 70% of the country.
Can't we can do better on both sides.
I agree.
I think a Nikki Haley, Gretchen Whitmer presidential race would be interesting.
Now, wouldn't that be a good? That would be. We would have choices. We would have discussion on policy. You know, God, then we could have a good female in the White House.
I wouldn't have a problem with a woman leading our country.
Not at all.
Not at all. I don't care about that. I don't.
Not at all.
It doesn't always have to be white men.
You know, we're the last major industrialized country that has not had a woman.
No, you're right. I don't get why, as a white man, I don't understand why white men always want to be just around white men.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Know.
So let me ask you another controversial question.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yes. Tofu. Yes or no?
Tofu?
Yeah.
You don't even know what it is, do you?
I know what it is. No, I'm no. No.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one. I think we've asked you before. How about roundabouts?
I like them. Yeah.
Captain, Captain, you and I are the outcasts here.
Yeah. I've gotten used to them.
Well, I've gotten used to them, but there's also people that exploit them, and it pisses me off.
Well, you and me both, Pat. I've come upon many at Muscatine and Scott, and some of those morons, they don't follow.
They don't stop, or they flank. They attach themselves to another car, and they just consider them part of it, like a funeral procession. Well, I'm next to this car. I mean, I watched 4 of them one time just look right at me, even though I'd been sitting there waiting to get out there. That's my. I know I'm not going to turn this into another roundabout because it just pisses me off. I hate roundabouts.
All right, so there you go.
There you go. Hey, I want to talk about Iowa women's basketball. You guys were there as I was Sunday, and magical. It's been a magical ride.
Sure has.
These last 4 seasons. Of course, first we couldn't see her in person, but it's really gone fast in my estimation.
Yeah,
it sure has.
It's almost like I don't even remember her freshman and sophomore season.
Yeah,
really.
I know.
The only thing I remember about her sophomore season is when they lost to Creighton because everybody was so stunned. Yeah, no, you're right though. It has gone fast.
Yeah, it's been a joy to say the least. I always appreciate the fact that she stayed in her native state. And
you're right about that.
That's worth something. But I can't get excited about these 4 teams coming in from the West Coast. I just, football or basketball, I just can't get excited about the whole thing. I'm kind of a dinosaur, I guess.
I sort of am too. I'm not a big conference. As a reporter who covers it, I only do it when I have to. It does not interest me at all.
I guess to me, it's a good thing in a lot of ways. Just because, I'm looking forward to the Iowa-Washington game here next year. I think it'll be excellent. Going to make a road trip, I think, out to UCLA. Via Las Vegas.
You're looking at it all from just your personal.
Absolutely.
I think John's looking at it more as does it really help the big. I don't know. I mean, I'm whatever. I mean, I'm 50-50 on it. It is what it is. I don't really care.
Well, I think that's what it boils down to. It is what it is. So you either embrace it or not. Your choice, I guess.
Well, I'll go to the games obviously and watch, but I just can't get the buzz like I do, with our rivalries like Wisconsin, Minnesota, even Illinois. I don't know. I guess.
No, I'm with you. I see what you're
age,
saying.
fellas.
Like Tom brought up the Iowa-Washington game.
Yeah.
To me, it's just another game. That team's going to be a shell of the team that got destroyed in the national championship. It's been completely overhauled.
But don't you guys get tired of playing Northwestern every year and Illinois every year? I get boring.
I mean, I don't know if I would call it boring. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't think about it as much. Like that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I kind of like the tradition of playing Big Ten border rivals and whatever. But
I do too.
I mean, the Washington thing, it'll be neat for once. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, and
I may change my mind too.
But yeah, I mean, I've been to L.A. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm just not. I just think conference expansion is just a big, massive money grab.
Of course it is.
And it's just not much more
we'll
than that.
See how many people like it when they can't see it, find it on TV,
or can't afford to travel to Seattle on a whim. Most people can't afford to go to Seattle on a whim to go watch their beloved football team, and that
I can do it once. I'll do it once.
But a lot of people can't afford to do it once. I mean, and that's so. Like I said, I just, I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think the initial part of it will eventually wear out. There'll probably be a lot of people that want to go out and see UCLA next year at the Rose Bowl. And that's those that haven't been able to go to the Rose Bowl itself, to the venue in Pasadena, because isn't that where UCLA plays?
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of seats because UCLA their games the stadium's half empty.
Or more.
Yeah, and UCLA football's not going to be very good next year.
No.
I don't even think Washington's going to be very good next year. Like I said, my thoughts on I think the 25 season's going to be the real test for Hawkeye football because that defense is going to be completely gutted. But with this defense coming back and with Washington going through a complete overhaul, UCLA not being very good, Oregon loses a lot too. I mean,
they're going to be good though.
I think Iowa still. But I don't think Oregon's going to be as good as they were this past year.
Probably not.
So I don't think the schedule is as tough as I once thought it was going to be. And with all the defensive guys coming back, I give Iowa a chance to have another, anywhere from a 9 to 11 win season. Whereas prior to that, I wouldn't have.
I didn't think that initially, but I think you're right. I think
UCLA's not very good.
No, they're not.
No, and their coach, I couldn't believe Kelly. He just jumped up and leaves.
Well, they wanted him out. He beat the posse. But, yeah, there's a lot of issues going on. It's hard, though, to be a coach at UCLA because you need assistants. It's so expensive to live out there. Some of these assistants have to live so far away just so they can find even assistants making $300,000 a year out in L.A. doesn't really go
enough.
It's not enough.
No, it isn't.
To live where you need to live to be the UCLA coach. So it's hard to get keep assistants and what have you. I mean,
I agree.
And you look at UCLA basketball this year; they're not very good at all. It's interesting.
It is interesting. Now the women's USC team, and the UCLA women are both.
They're both really good.
And Stanford.
And Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins. Some are saying if she stays for 4 years, she might break Caitlin's scoring record. She's on pace to do it, but whether she stays for 4 years, that's the question.
That's a good question because I think she could go.
She's a really good player. Yeah, she's a different player than Caitlin. She's not as much of a.
She's not as versatile.
Caitlin's more of a point guard, scoring guard. This girl's just a scorer.
Yep. Yeah, no question. I've watched her. Wow. Lord, she's good.
Yeah, she's really good. But the WNBA just does not have the money to entice her to leave early if she's getting good NIL money. They don't yet, but I mean, where
3 years from now, who knows?
I know, but where's it going to come from? Caitlin can't finance the league by herself.
No,
I mean,
she's going to give it a good grow.
I mean, she'll help the league no doubt. But I think without getting a big check from the NBA, I don't know how they can do it. So we'll see.
I saw where they're already selling Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever jerseys.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great.
I
love it
too.
No, I do too. I think it's great. And that draft is April 15th, I believe it is.
Yep.
So yeah, there'll be a lot of Iowa fans watching that day. Now, is the WNBA draft televised? I assume it is.
I believe it'll be on
Peacock.
No, I think it'll be on I think it's on CW.
Okay.
Which
CW
is
McCall.
9.3.
What about CW McCall?
He did.
Convoy.
Did.
You like that song, John? Convoy?
You bet I do. Absolutely.
Oh, my God. You know.
Hot dogs and Convoy.
I'll tell you, John.
I'm sorry, Steve. Did I burst your bubble?
Wow, you did.
Yeah,
you know.
just go have that tofu dog and
listen to C.W. McCall Convoy.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Guys, it's always good talking.
All right, John. Have a good one.
from you.
Have a good one, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You didn't like Convoy? Come on and join our Convoy.
I got to tell you, I didn't hate it. To be perfectly honest.
Oh,
I didn't hate it.
C.W. McCall.
Breaker.
Let those truckers roll 10-4.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, the
Wow.
Convoy or the Battle Hymn of the Green Beret by Barry Sadler?
Convoy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Why is Joni Ernst trying to prevent Biden from doing the State of the Union speech?
I didn't know she was.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care.
Probably politics and
I don't care about Joni Ernst.
Well, yeah, they can't
Yeah, I don't
prevent him
care.
from doing the speech.
Well, there's others that were trying to prevent him. Whatever. I mean, you would think they would want him to do the speech because they make him sound like he's a blubbering idiot. Just let him go up there and like pee himself and embarrass himself, and you know.
Really ain't gonna.
No.
Well, yeah. Let's hope he doesn't pee himself, and you know.
He's not gonna be. You know, this goddamn old stuff just really pisses me off because I'm old. You know.
Well, it's also your candidate too.
There's it's candidate, but it's more so really. It's more so old.
But he is old.
Yeah, so is Warren Buffett. He's doing pretty good.
But Warren Buffett's not running for president of the United States.
No, but he's
big difference.
He's.
And I'm going to vote for Biden. Don't get me wrong, but you can't get mad.
I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it's even Biden.
But he is old.
It's just, he's old, and so is Trump.
I know.
And
Trump
so
handles it better publicly,
and so am I.
But you're not running for president.
Younger leadership.
I agree.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I would love younger leadership. That's not what I'm saying. Has nothing to.
I know what
it's
you're
just
saying.
when you get older, what you're supposed to be just thrown away.
No one's saying.
Well,
But
that's what they make like.
I don't agree with that. To question someone's age is not saying you think they should be thrown away. You're questioning the age to run the country. I mean, that's a big difference.
I understand that.
I'm not saying just throw them away.
But they do throw. They
Who?
do throw
Who's
you
they?
away. Society for for the most part.
Well, I think Trump and Biden, for two old guys, are still doing pretty well in society. I think society.
But if you take away the politics of it, I'm talking about just society looks at old people. Look at the ads on TV. Look, how people. Well, look at the ads on the radio. Grandma calls somebody, and it makes like she's bothering them.
That's not a very good ad.
Yeah.
I don't know what's that ad for? How to get rid of grandma? I mean,
well, it's like they make old people like they're a burden, and that they don't have anything to contribute anymore.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to do with the politics per se. It's just that's what they make.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like the people that Biden has around him compared to what
I
Trump.
don't want to talk about this, though.
I really don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't.
We weren't talking politics.
No, back to the Hawks. Thanks for the call, though.
Yeah.
And we got 8 more months of this stuff. It's ridiculous.
I'm had it with that stuff. No, I wasn't really getting political. It's just that some ads that I see on TV, it's just like.
But no,
it's out there.
When you come up in your Friday morning, I would imagine you're going to State of the Union. You can't just ignore that. You'll talk.
No, I'll talk about that, but that has nothing to do with what I was.
No, I don't think you have to ignore politics because you're worried it may offend some listeners. You can talk about whatever.
No, I don't care if I offend.
But I don't even know if I'll listen to the. I don't even know how much of the State of the Union I'll listen to. I mean, I'll listen to some, but I mean, it's so predictable.
I know how much I'm going to listen.
Well,
I'm going to watch.
Here's what bothers me about it.
I haven't watched State of the Union since Abraham Lincoln gave his.
I watch it some. Yeah, I watch the State of the Union some. I mean,
I'll watch it because I'll talk about it.
Well, it's the State of the Union.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just. I've been thinking of this before. It had nothing to do with politics. It's just like these ads, these guys that put these ads together and put these campaigns together for products. They make like you're a burden, or they make like you're can't contribute, and
Well, they're trying to sell a product.
Yeah.
And maybe they feel that's the best way to go about doing it. Like I said, I haven't paid attention to those ads as much. Maybe, and even though I'm starting to get old, I'm not quite in your guys'
wheel park
yet. Thank God. I'm not. I'm getting there. I mean, like I said, 60 hit me harder than 50 did.
Oh yeah, 60 was a huge smack in the face.
Yeah, 50 didn't
It was
really.
a kick between the legs.
40 was nothing. When I
40 was nothing.
I didn't think of
50, no problem whatsoever.
60 though, that one hits you a little bit.
60, you can't say, well, I'm middle aged anymore.
Well, wait till you hit 75.
Well, the only time you can say you're middle aged when you're 60 is when you look to see what benefits are available for you, because you're still 5 years away from Medicare. You're still probably don't want to do your Social Security. You're still not old in the eyes of the money machine. Put it that way.
Well, they want to raise it too.
Well, we start getting AARP stuff when you're 50.
I got those. I still get them. I mean, I still get these big packs. I've never responded to one. I mean,
well, we got it. You get some good deals on it when you.
Yeah, I haven't
go to,
joined.
like,
I've yet to
hotels,
join.
but I mean, it's not that expensive or anything. But
are you part of AARP?
Yeah,
I'm not. I haven't joined.
I mean, I don't do much of anything.
Do you have to pay every year, like dues or?
Something
kind of like AAA,
but it's not.
I've been AAA for
I'm
years.
with AAA for
I'm
years.
AAA too.
I
Hello,
think that's great.
Yeah, hey, the age thing, not politics. There's an unconscious bias. I'm 81. I'm the guy that moved to Arizona 4 years ago, and healthcare, you can sense it, and it's true. There's an unconscious bias. Well, he's 80. He's had a good life, so they don't say that. But it's obvious in the indifference.
Well, when I was 65 and I came down with cancer, all I heard before, a year and a half that they found, oh my God, he's got stage 3, was, well, you're old. When I was 65. Yeah. Well, you're old. That's just what happens.
That happens.
Yeah, and they didn't take it seriously.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm agreeing with you 100%. And
that's good. I'd argue with you.
No, I know, but it's in the candidates, age is an issue because of their age, but with those two guys, it's different anyway. So I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
All right, hey, great show, of course.
All right, well, thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, would I like candidates that were like 50, 40? Yes, absolutely. It's ridiculous. But I'd like a representative for this state that was at 91, too. So, I mean.
Yeah, me too.
Just.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. I've got. Hi, Pat. Panini America, the world's largest sports and entertainment collection company, has just announced a multi-year partnership. I got this sent to me this morning at 8 o'clock. I'll put this up on my board, although now it's all over the place. But I'll put something up. But yeah, some Shanty Erica Pugh.
Is that? Do they put out Tops gum? And
I have no idea. I've never heard.
Wasn't that Tops?
I don't know.
I had never heard of.
I guess somebody could have bought them out.
Yeah.
And kept the name.
I had never heard of Panini thing before. No, the only thing I had heard from Bainbridge, that's what Conseco Fieldhouse was. I think that's what it's called now. I think they're.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, but no, they sent these emails out at 8 o'clock this morning. So, but yeah, we're going to keep seeing stories. There's going to keep being stories about sponsorships with kids. This is just going to be an ongoing story narrative.
Well, yeah, and then then the people say, well, she's given up the NIL,
but she's not. I mean, that's people. Hopefully, more. The word will get out that she's not. She's never been a part of Iowa's NIL. Everything she's done in NIL is on her own.
Hello.
Hello. I just wanted to call and tell you I've been a long-time listener. First time I've called. I live in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm an Iowa expat. I just want to tell you about what happened here. A couple of days ago, I was getting my hair cut, and a guy comes up to me and says, hey, what do you think about that Caitlin Clark? And we talked about it, and then I was walking out. This older lady comes up to me, hey, I had an Iowa Hawkeye hat on. She says, what do you think about Caitlin Clark? Isn't she incredible?
That's great.
And then yesterday, I'm in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So then yesterday, I'm at one of our local Walmarts, and they have their Western Kentucky, because our university here is why I came here to teach Western. There's Western Kentucky University gear, there's Kentucky gear, and that's it. There's Iowa Hawkeye gear at the Walmart.
That is something.
You mean the Caitlin Clark's, with Caitlin Clark's name on it?
It didn't have her name on it. It was like coffee mugs.
Wow.
Glass, you can get your drinks out of and stuff like that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, no, that is.
I know. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
You're sure right about that. Thanks for sharing.
Down here.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I just wanted to tell you something else. This is just to give you an example. I called because of this Caitlin Clark experience, but over the years I listened to you on your app and to the Hawk Fanatic show mostly. And I've had so many things I can call into. I worked for the athletic department when we were at the student worker, when they were at the Guild Fieldhouse, and then we made the change over to Carver. And my wife worked for the foundation when they were changing over to Carver. So it just hear you guys talk about all this old stuff. It's just great for people like me, because I was there. I remember that stuff and a lot of those things.
So when you worked at the Fieldhouse, where was your office?
Oh, well, no, I want to make it clear. I was a student worker, so
okay.
I did we did sweep the floors at halftime, clean out press row, that kind of stuff. And then at Carver was towards the end of my time. I remember we were putting the floor up one time when they were building it and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, some great experiences, and I really enjoy your guys' show.
Oh, thank you.
I thought I would try to derail you guys by talking about some Iowa stuff.
Thank
there you go.
We
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Keep up the good work, guys.
All right, thanks,
man.
Give that bye.
Get back to tofu. No, I like hearing calls like that.
See, I'll bet Caitlin doesn't eat tofu.
It's just amazing to,
I'll bet she doesn't.
People all over the freaking country are listening.
It is amazing.
It amazes me.
I mean, everywhere I go, if I have Hawkeye gear on, inevitably I'll get a Go Hawks, including in Croatia.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's true. It's true.
Everywhere I go.
So nobody wants to challenge the Caitlin eating tofu. I don't think she does. Maybe the scholar would know.
I couldn't begin to guess, and no offense, but nor do I care what Caitlin eats.
What if she, got $1 million to endorse tofu?
Then she'd probably force it down.
Yeah.
The Iowa Soybean Association sponsor.
T-shirt over gagging. Hello.
Hey, real quick, the draft WNBA will be on ESPN.
Okay.
ESPN? Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all.
All right.
Good to know.
That's a little over a month away.
I thought it would be on the CW.
You were wrong.
I was absolutely wrong.
You were completely wrong.
Absolutely.
I just want to know why it's not on Peacock. That Illinois and Purdue game was on Peacock last night.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
You're just going to have to pay the $5.
I can't imagine that makes the Big Ten Network happy that they did not. I mean, the Big Ten Network was doing like wrestling replays or something last night.
Yeah.
When the Peacock Network is playing arguably the biggest game of the conference season, really. I mean, there was so much riding on that game last night, and God, the fallout now. Illinois fans are just bitching about Purdue, the refs favoring Purdue, and Edie being dirty, and I mean the Orange Crush. They do not take losing very well.
No.
So, and I think they better get ready because I think they're losing Sunday too.
I wonder how many of the sold-out crowd are going to be Crush members.
I don't know. It's going to be rough. It's going to be lively in there on Sunday. I wish it was a 2 o'clock or a 3 o'clock. I mean, what a terrible time to play at 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's
terrible.
Not a good time. But at least the women's championship game will be over by then, right?
Long over.
Because it's at noon, right? Or 11? 11, yeah. It'll be long over by then. So, hell, some of the people up there will probably be close to being home by the time.
We could almost get back if we chose to.
Yeah, it would be close. I mean, well, for you, yeah. I mean,
we've already got
11,
hotel rooms,
11 to 1. Oh, so you're staying up there again on Sunday night?
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't you just come home at 1?
Special Monday
Don't
show
want to?
Oh, okay. What's that?
We had a very special Monday show planned for you soon.
Aw. Well, we'll listen on the app on our way home.
See, I'm just the opposite of you. I want to get home as quickly as possible when I do these trips. But for me, they're work trips. For you, it's your hobby. It's your fun.
No, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to. I mean, Minneapolis is fine, but I've been there so many times in my life. When it's done, I am out of there. You know, you can only do so many restaurants, and it's just after a while, it's just the same thing over and over. That's kind of where I am. Not to be a joy kill, but
It's like palling around with Mace.
Well, like Hawkeye huddles and stuff like that. I've been to so many.
Yeah, those don't do
just,
much for me.
And just, you know, and getting drunk in the restaurants the nights before. It's just
Robert Downey.
Well, I don't do
That's
that
your
either.
hair.
What?
Robert Downey.
Enough with my hair. But no, like I said, I'm always in a race to get home after with these road trips. The only one I really wasn't was the 2003 Orange Bowl. That was fun. That was fun for all the wrong reasons, but it was fun. I mean, it was just. I mean, I did not want to get home from that, and plus, I was not paying for any of all my stuff was being paid for by the Press Citizen. Now I have to pay for all my stuff, so that makes it a lot different.
Was that the bowl game where we sat down with you and we drank a bunch of beers for?
Probably, because I drank a bunch of beers I don't remember. They all blend together.
Because they were free in the media hospitality thing.
I didn't hardly know you guys back then. Mm-hmm. I mean, because that would have been, the 2002, 2003, when they got killed by USC.
Yeah.
That was a fun. And that's when the Press Citizen, that was before Gannett started to collapse. I was one of 4 reporters we sent down there for like 10 days. Think about that, the amount of money we spent. I was in a nice, beautiful hotel for like 9 nights.
Yeah.
And
wow. Now they don't even have a building.
Now they don't. Yeah, they all work remotely from home. All 4 of them, or 3 of them, or whatever it is. But yeah, back then we even sent a news side reporter down with us to do all the fan, to interview all the people like Tom, all the Go Hawks, all the partying and stuff, but yeah, times have certainly changed. That was a fun bowl game. The game sucked.
The game,
other than
except for the
C.J. Jones
kickoff.
Well, the first half. I mean, the first half was competitive, but then Iowa just felt like part. And I do think they were playing against the best team in the country at that time.
Was it 10-10 at half?
10-10 at half, and then for some reason
it didn't feel good though.
Kirk just seemed determined to show that Brad was as good or better than Carson. I thought they abandoned the running game way too soon. I thought Brad threw way too many passes, and Carson Palmer was really good. I mean, he won the Heisman for a reason. The USC was a really good team. I mean, they had struggled a little bit early, and I thought they were as good as Ohio State or Miami, who played for the national championship that year. I think USC could have beat them. But no, that was a fun bowl game. But usually at bowl games, I'm ready to get home. I mean, because it's, I'm not a big, the airports and everything, it's just not fun.
Well, this last bowl game, we had to fly out the day of the game, and I did not enjoy that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But I did love the Rose Bowl when I was able to fly out 5 hours after the game ended. I was home that night. That was great, especially when you knew they were going to lose. I had my story written by the time the game ended. Went down, got a couple quotes, boom, took a cab from the airport to the airport, boom, I was home. That was nice. It would have been tougher if the game had gone to the very end and I didn't know what to write, but that game was over in the first quarter.
Was that the Bob Hope Airport or whatever?
No, I went to the LAX.
I'm okay for 3 or 4 days away from home.
That's kind of how I am.
And then
after a while, I just want home.
I want to go home.
Yeah, I just want to go home. I just want to be in my bed,
I'm always ready to come home after a vacation, but I do enjoy the break from the norm.
And I'm not a hotel guy either. I mean, you don't mind hotels, right? You actually like hotels, don't you?
I like hotels.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just not a hotel. You guys, do you have any hotel sponsors that I'd be offending?
No.
Okay. Hotels just.
I get on the bed and I roll naked all over the sheets.
Yeah, that's for you. When I get on the bed, I'm wearing a hazmat suit because of people like you. Stained City. Hotels are Stained City.
Yeah.
Isn't there a band called Stained?
Stained City.
Yeah, there's a band
called Stained.
Yeah.
I think and they stay at hotels.
It depends on what kind of hotel you
Well, the black light special I saw.
If it says hourly rates.
No, the black light special they crushed that myth because some of the worst violations for feces and stuff were high-end hotels. Feces violations.
You.
A fecal emporium.
What's wrong with you?
It's a fecal emporium. And I've stayed in tons of. My best hotel story is when we checked into Bloomington, Indiana, years ago, and it was for football, and it was cold out, and the guy's like, "Hey, the heat's not on in your room, but if you go somewhere and maybe want to go eat for 45 minutes, it should be warm." I'm like, "What?" They turn the heat on after you check into the room because it was unseasonably cold, and I'll never forget that. Or when I knocked on the wrong door and these two black women answered, and they called the front desk and said some scurvy-looking white guy was trying to get into our room.
We stayed at Holiday Inn Express when we were at Mayo in Minneapolis. Just great, beautiful hotel.
Yeah, Holiday Inn Express.
I've stayed at those.
Nice.
I've stayed at them. They have just as many stains as the other ones. Stains don't know luxury. They go wherever. They do. They don't. Oh, this is a 5-star. We better not ruin this mattress. That does not happen. That does not happen. Drury Inns. Have you ever stayed at a Drury Inn?
Yes.
I like those, and they're new. They're relatively new.
They're a little bit cheaper.
A little cheaper, and they didn't start until about 20, 30 years ago, so there's not as much time for stain accumulation.
And they have a free dinner buffet.
They do.
And you get a couple free beers.
Yeah,
I think it's a really good value.
And they're all relatively new, so they're all somewhat fresh because Drury, they weren't around 30 or 40 years ago.
I think they're the best value.
We'll never stay at a microtel because it's just like
micro hell.
Well, it is. It's like the rooms are the size of a closet. It's
Is it cheaper?
A walk-in closet.
A lot cheaper? No.
I mean, I checked into a room at another Big Ten town, and I called the front. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not exact." I go, "There's multiple stains on my bedspread."
You.
We had we stayed at a microtel, and we had to call because there was a wadded up sheet left in a drawer.
Well, this was multiple stains on the bedspread, very visible, and they came in and reluctantly gave me. I'm like, either get me another room or I don't want stains on my. And it looked like blood. I mean, it looked like what's that movie Vacancy? I mean, it was nasty. But I could go on and on about hotels. I've stayed in so many over the years.
Back to the.
Well, we sure did too.
Well, the Hawks are the reason I stay in hotels. The only reason.
The hotels that we're in these days are so much better than when we were in the band. We had to stay in some really iffy places.
But what I'm saying, though, is, they're nicer, but there's still stains.
I came here, and we had a snowstorm in March, and I was stuck here, and I had to stay. Well, I didn't have to. The only place I could find was Motel 6 in Coralville. And I got a room, and I opened up the damn thing, and it was nothing but a brick block room with one freaking bed that looked like a cot and a TV that you put a quarter in.
Seriously?
Seriously. And I stayed there for about 10 minutes, and I go, this is just ridiculously. And I didn't sleep that night. I came back to the station because it was so freaking depressing.
Yeah. Yikes. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'm not the one to talk about hotels. You know that. I just, there's just something about them. I'll be staying in one next week somewhere up in Minneapolis.
Yeah. You don't know what they're doing in there today.
No.
No.
The bed that I could be sleeping in like 6 or 7 days, it may be a puddle right now. But I have my sweatpants, my sweatshirt. I'll put a cap on my head.
I really need to get somebody from the university in here when we have these discussions.
I look like the Unabomber when I go to bed at a hotel. I'm covered up everywhere. There's no opening.
Great.
I'm going to get a psychologist.
Yeah, this is great.
Next week.
But like I said, I did ask before I went on my little rant. I asked if you had any hotel sponsors. I would have kept my feelings to myself.
Go from Adam Haluska to this.
I think you guys need to get some hotel sponsors.
Yeah. Why don't you go out today?
We used to have.
They don't really advertise much, do they? I mean, I don't.
Hotels they do on
like Facebook
they do some
and
television.
Okay. I mean, I guess
I don't hear much on radio.
I don't hear much even on television. I don't see any local hotels advertising on television. I don't ever see
No,
that.
not local.
Well, we got hotels.
Oh, you mean the national ones? I see what you mean. Okay.
Don't we have one family now that owns almost the hotels?
Boy, good for them if they do.
I think they
It's
do.
a lot of money.
They do.
Well, I know Lincoln McElravy's been very involved in.
But I mean the Patels.
You mean Bruce Kinseth?
No, the Patels.
Oh, they own a bunch of them too.
Yeah, but I know Lincoln McElravy's did a lot of those hotels out in Coralville, the former Iowa wrestler. No, it's a good business. Like I said, that's just one of my weird.
Why don't you go up to Lincoln and say, hey?
Hey, enough with the stains. No, I don't need to do that. Hey, hotels can live fine without. Plus, like I said, I've probably stayed in as many hotels as you guys. Tom maybe has me beat just because he's older, but maybe not, though, because, like I said, I've traveled for 30-some years. I've been traveling and staying in hotels.
It could be a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean...
It could be.
But you stay longer when you go to places, and you do hotels as not just work. My hotel experience has almost always been work-related.
Yeah.
I've had some where I've been, there for, social reasons or whatever, but mostly it's been work-related. And there's been some. I mean, I stayed at the hotel, the Ramada Inn in State College, and it was connected to a bowling alley. That wasn't the best thing, Seriously, you're trying to get, you're, and there are people that bowl at 7:30, 8 in the morning. I mean, I found that out the hard way. You imagine staying at a hotel connected to a bowling alley?
Done it.
Yeah,
we played bowling alleys.
That was not my favorite experience, but.
Well, the station, your daytime friend that I started out in Geneseo, yeah, it was right next to a bowling alley, and the damn air conditioning never worked at the station. You had to keep the windows open, and you could hear the pins.
Well, I'm sure you probably could.
Yeah.
That's loud.
Yeah.
You played at bowling alleys? Really?
A couple of them, yeah.
Wow.
Some of them had just great clubs attached to them. There was one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I think. There was just a beautiful club. Probably seated 500 people.
How many bowling alleys do we have in town?
2.
Colonial Lanes, and what's the other one?
Spare Me,
downtown.
Oh, there's a bowling alley downtown?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
It's in the Chauncey.
building.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You a bowler?
No. I maybe have done it once or twice, kind of like golf, but no, I've never really.
I wasn't terrible.
I wasn't bad at all.
The best I ever did was 224.
That's supposed to
I think
that's pretty
I did
good.
226.
Good.
I knew he was. I knew he was
just 2-1. I don't know what I. No, I was in the 200s.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
good score.
But I don't.
Yeah, I've just never. I don't think I've ever bowled a game where I've ever been scored.
I did it in college.
No interest.
I bowled a lot in college and we had a bowling alley there in the Union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at Drake, all I did was play basketball and party.
I had a bowling class
for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to class and graduated, but I had fun.
Good for you.
Played a lot of basketball in college. That was because I didn't like exercising. Basketball was my exercise.
Well, the way I understand it, you were not you saying it, but other people said you were pretty good.
I was okay. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't good enough to play Division I, and I hated my high school coach, and he hated me. But no, I was okay.
I scored 33 points in an intramural game.
I scored 34 in a sophomore game.
There you
I
go.
just one-upped you.
You did.
I handed out towels in gym class. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were a student manager?
Huh?
Or just a weirdo handing out towels to you guys?
No, just a guy coming in with towels. Yes, I was a
student manager. Okay. Hey, you got to have student managers, man. They play a big part.
What do you think? I just going in there just handing out towels?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where that story was going. Wasn't sure what you were promoting. But yeah, I just never. Bowling looks like it could sort of be fun. I just never really never really presented itself. I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I haven't been for years, but I enjoyed it.
No, I haven't been.
My dad wanted me to play golf in the worst way, and I just never took the time.
He was a pretty good golfer.
Boy, you're just Mr. Wonderful over there, aren't you?
No, I was a good golfer. I'm not anymore.
And you beat up Dan. You beat up Dan McCarney. You were good in golf.
No,
you were good at bowling.
Dan McCarney was a draw.
Oh, a draw. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Beach towels.
Yo.
I don't get that one. That one wasn't funny.
That's a masturbation joke, Pat.
Oh, okay. It went over my head.
Well, he's a drunk.
He's starting to call more often, though. I've noticed the last 3 times I've been in here, he's gotten one in.
Yeah.
You better get that firewall going.
Yeah. Why don't you drink some more?
You think he's drinking right now at
Yes.
9 in the morning?
Yes.
Or 10 or 11 in the
Yes.
morning? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
But no, but yeah, basketball. I love playing basketball in college. I mean, you know, intramurals or whatever, pickup. I used to love playing against the Drake football players, and a lot of those Drake football players back then, they were Division I, so they were also good basketball players in high school. They just were better in football. And it was always fun to play against those guys, and it was just great exercise. And you wouldn't think about it. You'd go and play like 7 or 8 pickup games and probably burn 1,500 calories.
Great.
Yeah, but you just don't think about it because it's fun. Whereas back then when I was 20, if you wanted me to jog 2 miles or lift, I would never have done that. I had to be entertained while I was exercising. I've always been that way. My dad had a word for that, lazy. I was. I mean, my brother lifted weights and wore ankle weights to school to make his legs bigger. I mean, I just couldn't do any of that stuff. I was lazy.
Me too.
I just liked playing sports for playing sports. My brother saw a means to an end to get a scholarship and whatever. It worked for him.
I didn't really want to exercise until I got here.
Still
in
don't
college.
want to.
Well, I don't want to anymore, but I did run.
Yeah, I've
I
never
ran
been
for
a jogger.
the 3 years I was in college.
Never been a jogger. I'm surprised I'm a walker, to be honest with you.
I ran for a couple of years. Ran in some 5Ks, but
I mountain biked.
I never liked it.
I did a lot of mountain biking in my 30s and loved it. I mean, I used to have so much fun mountain biking up at Sugar Bottom around the Des Moines River trails that were just the Sugar Bottom has these really neat trails, but the ones by the river, by the Des Moines River, are cool too because they're basically man-made just by bikes. And used to do that stuff a ton, and you'd burn a bunch of calories doing that, but I wouldn't think about it because it was fun. But to run a 5K, my mind would be like, God, I don't want to do this. I just can't. I don't have the discipline to do that
I
stuff.
did it, but I never loved it. You know, people say, oh, my God, the endorphins release, it is just heaven, you know. Well, I never experienced that at all. I was tired.
I do like walking. I mean, I'm to the point, and I don't walk for fun. I walk for exercise.
Yeah.
But like now, it's fun walking in these.
So do you listen to music while you're walking?
I do sometimes. I do not have headphones though. I should get headphones. Like, yeah, I'll listen to music sometimes, but I don't want to be distracted either. A lot of people I see walking with headphones and music, they have no clue what's going on around them. They get hit by a car. You can't just trust that the cars are always going to yield for you.
No,
you just can't.
Sure.
So I will listen to music some, but like when I'm crossing crosswalks like the one by Hy-Vee on First Avenue, I mean, yesterday had I kept going, I would have been ran over by 4 cars because 4 of them just were. Some people just aren't going to stop for pedestrians, even though that's the law. They're just not going to.
Well, that's true.
And you can tell they're just not going to do it. So you got to be cognizant of those people.
I like walking with a book.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he does it. And everyone I talk to asks me, like Rob sees, how does Podasky do this? I have no idea how he does it.
You don't know how he
I look
does
at my
it.
cell phone for like a minute when I'm walking, and then I get lightheaded.
Yeah,
because I'm
you
focusing.
get dizzy.
I get dizzy. I don't know how he does it.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just.
He's like the 8th wonder of the world.
He is.
Yeah.
He's sort of like the 8th wonder of the world / Rain Man.
It's just weird.
And he walks at a pretty good pace with that book in front of him.
Sure does.
And he walks all day.
For a long time.
I mean, the other day I was driving home and I was driving down Muscatine, and you know how you have the crosswalk that goes into McPherson Park?
Mm-hmm.
I saw him walking on that wearing jeans and a sweatshirt and a backpack and the book in front of him. And then I went home and did some stuff, and then I went on my walk, and then 2 hours later I saw him still walking, but he was wearing gym shorts and a T-shirt, and he still had a book in front of him. So he'd been walking all day.
So do you ever go on walks with him?
No. God, he wouldn't want me to. I mean, he barely says hi to me.
I was kidding.
McPherson Park is.
He will sometimes. He'll smile. Sometimes he'll smile and say hi. Other times, other times I think he would rather not have to acknowledge my existence. But that's just how he is.
Well, that's life.
But yeah, it's incredible that he can do that though.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of balance. I just can't. Plus, he must have incredible eyesight too. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, with my bifocals, I'm always,
Oh no, I couldn't.
I couldn't do it.
I can't do that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
And
it's amazing how many people see him.
Well,
why is that walking?
Yes.
It's a little bit unusual.
I see people. I mean, I have people tell me they see me all the time too.
Yeah.
Haven't you said you've seen me walking when you're
sure.
driving? Yeah. I mean, I try to go. I mean, I'm not going today. I try to take at least 1 or 2 days off a week. That's Mia's instructions. Mia out in Colorado says people, any age, you don't need to work out every day. It's not good for your body, but especially as you get older, you need to have some downtime, and I love downtime.
I got some downtime going since 19.
We got Fran McCaffrey today. A little early for us.
1998.
I'm surprised we have a press conference today with the game not until Sunday. But it makes me wonder if they're busy. Maybe they're out recruiting stuff Thursday and Friday. But we have a Fran McCaffrey press conference today at 2, so we'll be reporting on that.
They probably are out recruiting.
Yeah, this is a big time. The state tournament's going
exactly.
on. And I saw Regina lost, but hey, Regina just getting to the state tournament this year. That was a very impressive accomplishment. And I'm trying to think we got. Thanks again to Adam for coming on. That was a fun discussion with Adam.
It was.
I enjoyed getting his insight on Caitlin Clark, and congratulations to Adam's daughter for being part of a state championship. And I think we've covered everything. I'm sure this will end with a bang here. Hello.
Hey, Pat, it's me.
Hey, Mia, how are you?
Hey, Mia. I didn't touch anything.
Sure, it's out. This whole thing is rigged.
Woke. Hello.
Hey, we'll try it again. Pat, it's Mia, Colorado.
How are you, Mia?
Hi, Mia.
I'm great. Hey, Suterman, how are you?
Pretty good.
So what's up?
Take a day off, Pat.
What's that?
Take a rest. You don't need to train every day of your life. You're not.
No, I know. I'm taking
Olympian.
And I'm going out tomorrow and buying new shoes because it's time to get new shoes too. Because Mia,
there it is.
Huge difference.
You're doing it.
Shoes are a huge difference. They really are, especially when you get to be my age. But nope, I'm taking today off. I'm going to do nothing but drink beer and watch TV and eat a bunch of unhealthy food.
You just would deep fat fry everything and get
There you
drunk and just that's a trainer's advice.
That's my trainer's advice right there. You can't beat that. So how's Colorado? What's the temperature?
36 inches of snow in 48 hours.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, I know. But yesterday was sunny and clear, and so I just want to say I love everybody on the show. I listen, and you've got fans in Colorado.
Well, thank you, Mia. We appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, so put your feet up and just be a fool and eat food today.
I'm doing that. I've got my inspiration right there. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mia.
Thanks, Mia.
Bye-bye.
That's my kind of trainer right there.
Yeah.
Did she say 36 inches in 24 hours?
Yes.
Wow, 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
And isn't
Where is she?
She's in Vail.
Okay.
Isn't California getting hit hard too?
Yeah.
They showed some
same kind of.
They showed some passway up in Colorado where all these semis were just buried in snow. I don't think Colorado's going to have to worry about forest fires maybe this spring and summer as much as they have in the past because it's got to be so moist out there now. The drought's over, isn't it?
I would think so.
But no, I know Mia's a devoted listener. And no, she always stresses you got to take some days off to let your body rejuvenate and your joints to kind of recover and what have you. And it makes a difference. But sometimes I go for a walk just because it's fun. I mean, in nice weather, there's something fun about walking in February when it's 50 out, because you normally can't do that.
I take 2 walks a day, but they're not like your walks.
I take 1 5-mile walk usually.
I take because Wapsie needs to stretch her legs.
Yeah, and Wapsie wouldn't want to.
Bad leg,
with her bad leg, she wouldn't want to go. I mean, Lakota used to walk with me forever until his body just said no. But there were times where I could tell Lakota was getting bored. I think he would get frustrated being on a leash. He'd go for this walk. He'd see so many things that he wanted to eat and kill and hurt, and he couldn't do it because he was on a leash. And he'd be like, "This kind of sucks." I got all these squirrels that are coming up here taunting me. I can't do anything about it because this yahoo's got me on a leash. And I think that was one of his issues with walks.
There you go.
But he loved going. My buddy used to rollerblade. He would put the leash around his waist, and this is back when Lakota was young and spry. They would go rollerblading all along like Friendship Street, Arbor, all those streets, and get going really fast, and Lakota would just fly with him for like an hour. That shows you when dogs are in their peak health, they're amazing animals. But man, can they meet their demise quickly. It's stunning how quickly a dog can fall apart. Because I watched it happen in like two months, and I never dreamed. It's so
happens with cats too.
I've been told that. Well, my 2 dogs' deaths were both. Buddy's was long and slow and miserable. Lakota's was so fast. I mean, it was both of them were miserable to deal with. But I kept Buddy alive way too long. Selfishly, I should have put him down. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I know it's hard.
I just couldn't. His last 6-7 months were miserable.
Those are some rough decisions.
I don't think I ever saw his tail wag. And that was my fault. You live and learn. But I think part of the reason I haven't gotten dogs since then is it was so rough putting those two down, I don't want to subject myself to it again.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it's just tough, man.
It
Especially
is.
when you're by yourself.
Yeah, but they need people.
They do, and there's and I do what I
And
can
people
to
need them.
I do what I can to help, and I mean I donate and what have you, but I'm just not ready to deal with that anguish again. 'Cause
I've been
it sucks.
giving Lily's now. It's been getting. It's not Farmer's Dog. It's the other one, fresh pet, out of the refrigerator, and I mix it with her other food, or Jan mixes it.
What is Fresh Pet?
I've seen them advertised.
It's in the refrigerator, and it's dog food.
And there's this blue thing too. That's another one that some blue dog food.
I've read bad stuff about.
They advertise about how great it is.
Yeah,
which obviously is what they're going to do. So.
But it's Fresh Pet. It's like it would be canned food, only it's not. It's like beef or chicken.
So what are you saying? What's your point?
She just loves
So is it like
it.
Alpo or?
Yeah, she just thinks it's the. I mean,
I was always a dry dog food guy. My vets were very adamant about, man, dry dog food's the best. And if you want to give them, what I would do lots, if I had a steak, I'd give them dry dog food, and I'd make an extra steak and cut it into little pieces and drop steak into their dry food. Now, they love that.
I bet they love that.
They love that. Now, I wouldn't give them barbecued chicken. I'd give them steak and meat that wasn't seasoned, because, man, I didn't want to be out there dealing with the fallout in the yard, put it that way.
So to speak.
Dogs have very sensitive systems, some of them do.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, no, I miss them. I mean, God, this February was 5 years without Lakota. This July will be 8 years since Buddy passed. 8 years,
Wow.
2000, and I still think about him all the time. And I have people telling me all the time, you got to get another dog. I get it, but it's just not easy.
You don't gotta. But
No, I don't have
good.
to. Those people weren't sitting with me at 3 a.m. on the floor with Lakota when his kidneys gave out and he was moaning and crying. And I just don't want to go through that again. All right,
Well,
now I'm
then
sad.
nobody's gonna make
now I'm
you.
sad. Let's try to.
Nobody's
figure out-
gonna make you.
Let's try to figure out a way to end this thing on a happy
Well,
note.
think of all the stains that you're avoiding not going to a hotel tonight.
That's a good way to. That's a good
That's
way
a
to
positive
put it. That's
thought.
a positive way to look at this thing.
Very positive.
I appreciate that. You brought it back to hotels. Nothing personal against hotels. I just don't like the stains.
I am positive that it is time to end this episode.
Thanks again to Adam Pawluska for the Hawkeye Insight. Always appreciate it.
All right, HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It'd be free.
The Corridor wakes up on 16.